Hello, I hope you're doing so well. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be discussing why it's important to dress well and in a way that makes you feel good. So let me station up and we'll get into it. I couldn't find the lip gloss and I put my perfume on. Oh my gosh, this is not lip gloss, this is moisturiser. Hold on. Turns out it was actually lip balm, so it's okay. Lip balm. Balm, yeah. When was the last time you put something on and made you feel like, wow, this is really me and it makes me feel good? Now, in life, whatever the reason may be, whether it's life in general, trauma, having a family, your job, and you know what, having kids and juggling everything else in life is no easy game. So that being said, when, people try and isolate things to one event, I do believe that life as a whole can be very difficult, and sometimes we do lose ourselves because that weight of the world can become too much at times, and it will ripple through and show out in different ways. Sometimes it's a case of how you dress. Now for me, I've always been interested in style and the way that you show up in the world, not because you're trying to impress somebody else, but because it makes you feel good. And I'm going to talk today about why this is actually proved by science and why it's important that you do make the effort to dress well in a way that makes you feel happy, not trying to impress the world around you. Dressing well is not vanity, it's a form of self-belief in action. Now, let's get into the psychology and science behind it. So in 2012, Northwestern University did a study which they coined as Enclothed cognition. In that study, they basically proved that the way that you dress impacts how you behave and think, which was really fascinating because essentially what they did was they gave two sample groups. Oh, hi! Distraction over. Quite literally an example of how life can be pulling you in 10 different places at once and you just have to get on with it. So, back to the Northwestern Enclothed cognition test. They were two sample groups. One was given the same white cloak but told that their cloak was a doctor's cloak versus the other group that was told they had a painter's cloak on. And the difference was in the results. So interestingly, the group that were told they had a doctor's cloak on performed better on attention tasks versus the other group that were told they had a painter's cloak and they didn't do as well. And the key take home here and what it illustrated was the fact that how you dress impacts how you think. So it's not necessarily about what you're wearing, but how it makes you feel and think. And that actually impacts how you show up to the outside world. Therefore, the key conclusion that we can make from this is that dressing well is not necessarily about impressing others, it's about programming yourself to show up stronger, smarter, and more confident, and it literally impacts everything that you do externally. And if you thought we were done there, we're not. Whilst we should be dressing for ourselves and in ways that make us feel good, it's also important to acknowledge that we are humans at the end of the day, and humans are social animals, and how the other collective sees us is still important. Proven by Princeton University back in 2006. They did a study on first impressions, which basically proved that within 1/10 of a second, imagine that, 1/10 of a second, someone concludes how trustworthy they think you are. Especially when you're going to job interviews or going on first dates, this is really important because this is who impacts your life, the outside world. Whilst we should most certainly be living life for ourselves and not trying to impress others, it's still important to acknowledge that how you represent yourself impacts how others perceive you. And so if you are very sloppy, then that means that even you could be the most articulate individual, most caring individual, that's not necessarily going to show up on the outside. And this matters because that therefore impacts your life. As a side note, I did not realise how see-through my top shows up on camera. In real life it doesn't look this bad, but I think because I've got lights coming in from both the window and I put on extra lighting, it's really showing up. But I promise you that in real life it's not this visible. But that's not the point. Let's talk about money. I tried to do ASMR and it probably failed miserably, but we move. I most likely need a proper microphone. And the kids broke my other microphone that was like a normal microphone, but not the best. But anyways, the point is, let's talk about the money myth. I've noticed both online and in real life discussions, people having this myth that you need to have a lot of money in order to look good. And whilst it's no secret that money most certainly does help, as it allows you access to more resources, it's not your only answer. You can go around charity shops and try and find things that suit you, as well as Vinted and Depop. What's really helpful about the online apps is they actually allow filters, which can help you find the right size, the colours and materials that you're looking for, which, you know, never hurts. They're quite helpful tools. But on top of that, I think people have become so ingrained in fashion and trends, especially fast fashion world, which is not sustainable for the world at all. People forget that buying less and wearing more is the way to go. You can buy less items, but ones that work together, so you can mix and match within your wardrobe, and that means you'll be wearing them more, they're more sustainable for the planet, rather than sticking to what we see now as this awful fast fashion trend. And when I was really younger, I remember seeing this Yves Saint Laurent quote, which really stuck with me. I don't know why, I saw it once and it stuck like glue, where it said fashion fades but style is eternal. And I remember thinking that, yeah, there's always a new trend coming in, and it felt more commercial than actually designed to suit people. But that being said, it never stops someone. Everyone always wants to be on trend. But something that's never going to go out of trend is someone looking stylish and in a way that really suits them. Hence why I say, buy less, wear more, but in a style that suits you. And style is not about money, it's about intention. Practical steps that you can take. So, decluttering. We are all guilty of keeping things, I believe. I've met very few people that are extremely minimalistic and don't at least a little bit hoard some things. So, especially with my friends that are into style and trying to find their style, there is that process when you're exploring and testing the water, where you kind of go through different items, where something will live in your wardrobe for a little bit longer than it should. And fear not, I'm guilty of it too. I'm not trying to sit there and be like, ooh, yeah. Where something stays in your wardrobe and you keep telling yourself, I'm gonna wear it at some point. It's yeah, we're gonna wear it at some point. I don't know when that is, but it's gonna happen. And this, for example, I got this for the beach to match a certain bikini that I've got. But realistically, I'm not going out to the beach in a bikini very often. I live in the UK, and well, as much as I'd like the weather to be warmer here and more sunshine to come out, yeah, the chances of that here in England are minimal. And, you know, we've got to love England, it's great, but it's renowned for being a cold and rainy country. So probably worth dressing the part for that. But yes, decluttering items that, you know, don't fit you or even you've outgrown. I think this is a big one. I must interject here. I was editing and I was like, hold on, I need to elaborate on what I mean by outgrow. I mean both style and size, because sometimes you go through a certain phase where one style suits you. I went through wearing all black at all times at one point in my life, which is not who I am anymore. And at that time it suited what I wanted and felt good about myself in. But now it couldn't be further from what I enjoy wearing, and that is okay. But if I still kept myself in those clothes, I wouldn't have felt good because I had outgrown that chapter. And also in size, whether we like it or not, our bodies fluctuate, and that is perfectly normal, especially when you're going through big journeys of life, like having a baby. My body changed so much through the whole process. Obviously when you're making a baby, no surprise there, but also afterwards, because within that time of the first year after you have a baby, your body is going through so much change and you have swelling that goes down, and then even after that, you know, it takes like 5 years or something for your body to return to a somewhat normal state. However, I don't think it's fair to say your body ever goes back to normal. After you've had a baby, your body's very much a new form. But that being said, it's also the same for guys. I've seen guys go through their gym journeys, and even guys that haven't really done anything that warrants their body to have changed too much, but just as they've gotten older, their body bone structure seem to have gotten broader and they've needed wider clothing, and that's normal. I think it should be accepted that bodies do fluctuate, and that's perfectly human. So yeah, but anyways, that's what I wanted to elaborate on, the fact that when I say outgrow, both in style and size, we are constantly evolving, and that is okay. Power pieces. Let's talk power pieces. And what I mean by this is items in your wardrobe that you know no matter what, you put that baby on, it's going to make you feel wonderful, outstanding, phenomenal, sensational, whatever synonym adjective you want to use, it's going to make you feel good. For me, one of them is this hairband. I don't know what it is about this hairband, but whenever I put it on, I'm like, Doesn't matter if I'm having a bad hair day, doesn't matter what's going on, I feel okay again. And I have quite a few different hairbands literally just lying on the table that I didn't put away. Never mind. But here, I'll show you some. Oh, never mind, just dropped that one. And they're all like different and they all suit different outfits. But what it is about this specific hairband, I could not tell you, but I feel great in it. Same as one of my Power Piece dresses is. And if you guys didn't know, this is actually my wardrobe. Yeah, I had the choice of trying to DIY doors for it, and it ended up costing way too much. I was like, I would rather go eat food or go invest in a nice dress or something. And yeah, I'm very much a girl that loves to find really powerful pieces that make her feel good. So I thought, do I want to get doors for my wardrobe or should I just do curtains? And so these were really good. They were on sale. And they're really nice colour, they matched my room kind of, and also they're really easy to like look after because you wash them, you can steam them, and it's great. But anyways, my Power Pieces, this is what we're on. This dress, I don't know what it is about this dress, it's a Power Piece for me. Whenever I put this on, I feel phenomenal. I could not tell you why. It's just something about this dress that makes me feel like I'm good enough, makes me feel like I look fabulous, and most importantly, that all, as we saw in the psychological studies, translates in how I hold myself. I don't feel like I should shrink in. I feel like I am worthy of standing up and feeling good about myself. And this could literally just be me chilling at home having dinner with my family. This doesn't have to be for anyone. This is the point that I'm trying to relate across, is that it's not about dressing up for other people. And I've noticed loads of people have this consensus that they need to only save their beautiful items for when they're going out. And obviously, if you're at home doing tidying and working with chemicals like bleach, do not ruin your items by putting it on at that moment in time. But, you know, family dinner, sitting down having a coffee with your friend, why not dress up for the occasion? Life is the occasion, and if you're not enjoying it and you're waiting for one grand moment, you're not really living life, you're just existing. And when I went and concluded that for myself, I really started romanticising and enjoying the little things, and that is always worth doing because, you know, we only have one life, and why are we waiting for one amazing grandiose moment when we can make most of all the little ones in every day? But yeah, so this dress with a little bit of red lipstick and with, you know, my hair curled and really oomphed up with hairspray, all put away nicely in a bun. But I must admit, the big oomphy hair, especially when I was bleach blonde, I know that was only my summer chapter, I'm not going back to bleach blonde anytime soon. Yeah, it was like blonde bombshell vibes, and there was a girl that said that to me in the bathroom and it made me feel really good. So yeah, I don't know what it is about this dress. I've worn this dress to work with blazers, I've worn this dress out for dinner, for a coffee. Like, I don't know what it is about this dress, but I just feel so good about it. Another piece of advice that I was told when I became a mum, and I absolutely love it for everyone, is build your uniform. Like, pick up emergency outfits that you can grab if you overslept, if you need a quick outfit and you don't want to think about it, as well as, you know, preparing outfits for the week. I remember meeting one mum, she literally would set up, not just her, but her whole family's outfits, including her husband, because she was like, you think my husband dresses well by himself? Like, it's me. And so, literally, the whole family, they'd have a rack, and that would be their weekly items. But for me, I don't have loads of plans for what I wear. I sort of wear what I feel on the day, but I do have backup outfits just in case, because I remember this advice and I have a few and it's really helpful. I'm trying to find one here. Perfect example. So I've got two choices of cardigans because I still like to have a choice on the day, but then this dress to go with it. So I could do it with an orange dress because there's a bit of orange on there, but then I've got a bit of red on there too. And so with that, having the choice of these backup or emergency grab and goes, if you like, they're really helpful because when you're in a rush, you don't have much time to think about your style or how you want to accessorize and everything in between, because you're literally like, oh, I overslept, so many things I need to do, I need to get out the door as quickly as possible. So having backup emergency choices is always really helpful because you know that you have thought about it and more or less you're going to feel comfortable in it to some degree, and that's really important. And one of the other things I wanted to talk about was colour psychology. I don't necessarily follow colour psychology as some may do, because I just go with what I feel at the time. And I have experimented with all sorts of colours. I've gone through a very bold phase of bright, colourful blazers, and just making sure that I feel confident enough in myself to know that I can try these things. But that being said, my go-to colours tend to be quite monochrome, so black, white, and then beige tones, as well as some really bright pop of colours. We're talking bright blue, bright red, but I don't really venture too far after that, because especially colours like peach, I don't think they suit me very well, but that does fit into colour psychology. But the idea behind your colour palette is that you're going for what suits everything to do with your eye colour, your hair colour, and what's going to make you look your best, most radiant self. However, colour psychology follows the idea that certain colours instigate certain feelings within other people. For example, if you're wearing red, that's very fierce, it's very bold, it's a statement. Whereas black, navy, they're quite authoritative colours. They're sort of like, think suits, like I'm here, I'm present, listen to me. And then you've got white. White's always been associated to like purity, to softness, wedding day, think wedding day. And then you've got pastel colours as well. Obviously, for yourself, you can understand what that inspires in people in terms of feelings. And I also remember reading actually about how I think there was a difference between baby blue and baby pink, and how baby pink inspired more softness and affection or something along those lines. But don't quote me on that, because I need to double check that. But but you get the idea. And the last point on this is posture and grooming. So whilst how you dress and the clothing you choose is half the story, the other half is how you show up in it. Because I could be wearing this, I think it looks nice and it makes me feel good, but that's the point that matters. But if your posture is slouchy and your voice is a bit timid and you don't really want to talk to anyone, it's not conveying you. You're just sort of there like, hello, how are you? Whereas when you are not shy to take up space because you know that you are worthy of having a space, you own the character that you hold. And that is really important, because again, that impacts how the outside world perceives you as well as how you perceive yourself. And this is the important thing, especially when you go through things like abuse and you're trying to survive trauma and navigate what your life looks like after that. Part of transmuting pain into power is reclaiming that energy for yourself and being like, I deserve to take up space in a way that is not selfish, not arrogant. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you feeling good about yourself and carrying yourself in a way that does convey that you have a presence, but you're kind, you're courteous, and you deserve to be here, kind of thing. And again, this is not arrogance. I think people do like to associate confidence with arrogance. And sometimes I've noticed the people that are pretending and quite insecure but trying to find a way, they try and compensate with arrogance, and that's not it. As long as you're carrying kindness and you know that everyone has insecurities, but you're okay with yours, you've acknowledged yours, and you're just aware that your mission here is to become your best self and to carry kindness, the rest just sort of transmutes and holds up well. He's got little toy cars and he's lining them up, so I wonder what's going on. Wearing your clothes tells half the story, how you wear them tells the rest. An emotional reset through clothes. So what I mean by this is when you are in an emotional slump, and speaking as someone who has gone through this, I can vouch for this. Wow. Clothes can offer you the opportunity to get out of said slump. When I was going through the recovery mode and healing journey post abuse and toxicity, I really did enter a slump where I didn't feel like I was worthy of dressing well. I just wanted to hide from the world. And then one day something in me clicked and I was like, I can't do this. I deserve to feel good and wear the things that make me feel good. And I wasn't doing it for anyone. I wasn't taking any pictures. I wasn't posting them. I wasn't seeing anybody. I was literally doing it just for myself. And something in me changed. I started feeling good again. And it was like the initial domino of a very large set of dominoes. Just that first step. And everything started going in the right direction after that. And I started feeling like me again. And this is something that I really want to advertise to people, is that you don't necessarily have to wait for your healing to end. You don't have to wait for some grand, amazing thing to happen. Sometimes it's just taking that little baby step and acknowledging that you deserve to feel good, which then allows you to step into that higher version of yourself. When you wear something that reflects who you want to be, you start embodying and becoming that individual. Even if life feels chaotic, being intentional with what you wear sends a signal to your brain that I am in charge now. It too is also resilience. It's that self-care through style which enables you to reclaim that power after loss, burnout, or abuse. Do not wait until you feel confident to dress the part. Dress the part and watch the confidence follow. Something that I'd really like you to try if you are watching and willing to give it a go is take out one of your power pieces or plan an outfit that you know would make you feel like the version of yourself that you want to be. Put it out and look at it, and then see if you feel comfortable wearing it tomorrow. And then let me know how it makes you feel. I'd be so interested. And that brings us to the end of this video. I really do hope that you liked it. I really enjoyed making it, and as I get more comfortable in front of the camera, I do truly feel myself opening up like a flower and blossoming and just feeling like I can actually speak to you guys, because especially now that I've built some connection with you and I'm interacting with the comments and the private messages that you send me, it does feel like I'm actually communicating with people rather than just a camera, and it's truly wonderful. And yeah, I'm just really starting to enjoy doing this, and I feel like slowly but surely I'm getting better at being on camera, because that first few videos that I did, oh my goodness, I was too uncomfortable and shy and it felt very robotic, but now it feels good and I'm really excited for all the other videos I've got planned. But yeah, so let me know what you thought in the comments, and if you decided to do the call to action and try wearing an outfit that makes you feel good. I really do hope that you feel the power to take back any pain that was caused to you in this life and transmute it into this beautiful, kind, loving energy which you can call your power.